Welcome into the Brave Central podcast. Barrett Salia, Chris Domino with you. We are 3 games away from the All-Star break, and unfortunately, those 3 games are against the Cardinals team that are better than pretty much every other team we faced over the course of the last month. And here we are coming off we lost 2-3 to the A's. And Chris, we're looking for hope, and there is no hope.
Yeah, 0-5-1 in this series, obviously, since the Mets series. We can make this short and sweet today. Spencer Strider regrouped last night. We had talked about the young guys on the A's. I had talked about their core of 4. You saw Mason Miller come into that game. He's not quite as young, but he's certainly controllable, cheap. Butler's the only guy who's gotten paid on that team. Everybody else is sort of looking for theirs. At the end of the day, a bullpen and a staff that was not very good, numbers-wise, a team that was not good at all at home, just took 2 out of 3 from you. And I can give you the reasons why, and blowout. And I did, we talked about it last night. I knew last night was going to be a bullpen game. Like, you just know. You watch enough baseball and you sort of get a feel, and it's not trying to predict the future, and it's not like trying to be a gambling guy. But I just knew that last night was going to be very, very different, and it was. And unfortunately, if you look at the box score, you're going to see a BS. That's called a blown save for Dylan Lee. You're going to see a loss for a guy at the back end. That's bummer. You're going to see maybe a situation where you tried to keep a reliever in a little bit too long. And you're going to see them come out of the gate, and when they got down, for a team that doesn't have a lot of wins themselves, they were the ones who fought back, and they were the ones who figured out how to win a game in the 11th inning. So I'm going to tip my cap to them more than I'm going to crap on the Braves today. We've done enough of that. Runners in scoring position. Both teams are 2 for 8. I guess it was good to see Profar hit a home run. It was certainly good to see Ozzie Albies hit a home run. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about 1 home run in 37 games for Ozzie, and then you throw it in the fact that it's a loss to the Oakland A's in their building where they've been terrible, I'm not polishing any apples today. I mean, this is the reality. You got 3 games left to the All-Star game. You don't even know who's going to pitch probably on Saturday afternoon for you at this point. This is going to be I was going to call it a limp into the All-Star break, but it's worse than that. I mean, you're struggling to get to the halfway point of the season, as baseball likes to dub it at the All-Star break. You're trying to crawl to the finish line, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You're crawling to the finish line at this point. And look, Michael Harris, we thought that maybe those two like sort of breaks that he had would fix him. He's 7 for his last 77. He is completely lost at the plate. I don't know what else there is to do to
send him down.
Guy.
There is something else.
I think that's the only thing you can do now is send him down. And I was thinking last night, okay, then what's the move? Do you bring Kelenic back up? I guess that would be the case because he's a better option at this point, which is just, it's sad on so many levels. And I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the Braves, but there's nothing else that they can do at this point.
This is not about better options. I can go find a better option than a street free agent for today. Doesn't mean it's a better option for next month, 2 years from now. It's not that. And I think this idea that, when this was brought up a while ago, why I would send him down. It's not punishment. You don't send guys down because of punishment. You're trying to fix them. I used the word reclamation. You're trying to reclaim them. It's not a reclamation project. It's trying to reclaim a guy who you have money invested in for a period of time. And it's not about whether Kelenic's better. If this team's not fighting for a playoff spot, it's not about who's better in the here and now. It's making a player that you've invested in, a guy that you've seen be good but has been really bad for an extended period of time. You're trying to not move him out to find somebody who can hit 235. I'm moving him out so I can try to get this guy back and get him on track. I talked about a Fuentes reset. He's got to go down on the minors, and it's not really technically a reset when you haven't done much in the minors, but it was get him out of here, bring him here, let him feel good about himself. Well, Michael Harris is Fuentes times 1,000 because he's had success. He's been on a lot of planes, been on a lot of road trips. He's hit home runs. He's won games late. He's defensively saved you games. He's done more than Fuentes could ever dream of doing at this point, but it's the same situation. I've got to hit the reset button on him, and it's not going to be done up here. It's just not. There's nothing you can do at this level. The idea, the analogy that I used, they're in a corner, and you've seen them punch their way out. Marcell Ozuna, Michael Harris in the past. That's not happening now. It's over. If this was a referee, if this was a real fight, he'd count to 4. He'd look at everybody and go, that's it. I'm stopping this. It's time to stop it for Michael Harris. Not because you're banging on him, but because you have to get him back.
Yeah, you do. I looked at the numbers after the game last night, and there are I can't remember, but there are of qualified players. He has the worst on base percentage. The next worst is 27 points higher than him. That's how bad it's gotten. So something's got to be done. And yeah, you're right. You want to fix him, and you can't fix him up here.
I went back and I looked. It was 5 weeks ago. I made a note to myself in an email about Michael Harris. It's 5.5 weeks ago, actually. And I said, oh, look, what's the lowest on-base percentage for anybody in the history of the game with more than 650 plate appearances? Michael Harris was tracking for it then, and he's gotten worse. So we're talking historically bad. Historically bad doesn't happen in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It can happen over the course of half a season. That's what he's done. So whether Marcell Ozuna looking like he's a little bit back, whether he'll take 4 days off, and maybe, here's your best case scenario. Best case scenario. Marcell Ozuna comes back from the All-Star break. He has a good weekend this weekend, but he comes back from the All-Star break in his first 5 games. He looks like a guy who's reinvigorated as much as a 34-year-old guy with a bad hip who weighs too much can be invigorated. He looks like he pushes towards free agency with a little bit of pop and thump. You get that, he's more tradable. That's the one thing. Like if after the All-Star break you're asking me, what's the one thing you would like to have happen? That's the thing. I need him to be tradable. I'm not even saying I'm getting much for him. I'm not even saying I wouldn't have to pay part of his salary down this year, which is just galling at this point. But it's the one thing, if I'm asking for anything for the first 5 days out of the All-Star break, Marcell Ozuna starts hitting. The Ozzie thing is another story. Somebody finally nationally wrote about what I've been talking about with Nacho Alvarez. To figure out the $7 million option on Ozzie, you can go about it one of two ways. You can have him try to hit his way out, and then you make a decision, or you can sit him for a little bit, bring Nacho Alvarez up, make him probably more comfortable at second base than he would be at shortstop, and maybe have that help make your decision, and then you see if there's a suitor for Ozzie. Remember, the problem for Ozzie, and it's not really a problem, financially it's not a problem, it's a $3 million investment, because you're either picking him up for $7 million or you're buying him out for $4 million. Of course, Ozzie Albies is a $3 million player. Of course, he's a $7 million player. But is he the $7 million player for you, or is he a $7 million player for somebody else?
I love Nick Allen, but you could even do the same with Nacho Alvarez at short. You know, he could be the shortstop of the future too at this point. So yeah, there are options there. I think at this point, there's really no doubt that if the Braves are going to do anything, they're going to be sellers, or they're just going to stand pat because there's no reason to buy at this point. So that's where the Braves are right now. But the All-Star break, the festivities are going to be phenomenal, starting with the All-Star Village throughout the course of the weekend, opening on Saturday at Cobb Galleria Center, which is the Fan Fest sort of deal. The HBCU Classic on Friday. You got the Futures game Saturday, Celebrities Softball. Chris, we're going to be all over the place these next 5-6 days. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Come here. I found something out. I might have jumped the gun a little bit early last night on the first pitch at the All-Star game, but now I'm pretty sure it's out publicly. So Andrew Jones, Andres Galarraga, Chipper Jones throwing out the first pitch collectively. They were the guys who represented, I think, with Glavine and Maddox in 2000. But I think those three guys that thrown out the first pitch, I might have been early last night. But I think today I'm a little bit more okay to tell you that that's what's happening.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not even asking for forgiveness. I don't much care. I just wasn't. I don't want anybody around here to get in trouble. And not that anybody around here told me. So, yeah, I guess at that point it would just be me getting in trouble. But I do believe now it's much more public. So that will be part of what's going on as well on Tuesday.
All right. Well, it's going to be fun. So for Chris Domino, I'm Barrett Slee. This has been Braves Central. We'll talk to you this evening leading up to Braves and Cardinals Game 1.